Ladies and gentlemen, this is the video that you have been waiting for. This is the video that I wish that I had years ago when I was trying to make it as a funded trader. The thing is, before prop firms, we had to rely on the good word of trading gurus. If they said that something worked, we just had to take their word for it. But now with the insane amount of data that prop firms have, this is beginning to change. Gurus can lie, but numbers don't. And unfortunately, the vast majority of prop firms don't share this insider data, but today that is changing, and we are going to give you an inside look into exactly what works and what doesn't. Most of these numbers I think are going to be quite surprising to many of you because they were quite surprising to me, but I hope that these numbers are actually going to be motivating for you as well, because it's going to show that you don't need to be a savant to make money from trading, and even with data and statistics that many of you will think are just mediocre, you can still make a ton of money from trading. So we're going to do a huge breakdown of all kinds of numbers, from what percentage of traders pass, how much money they make, how many trades they take to pass, all that good stuff. And then at the end of the video, we're going to do a breakdown of multiple accounts from traders that are funded. So we're going to do a breakdown of how they actually passed, what they did. We'll look at all of their numbers, and then we'll actually look at their funded account, both traders that received a payout, both traders that are still trading their account, and even traders that blew their account. So you're going to be able to get all of this information and data to really get an insider look on what works and what doesn't, so you don't have to just trust gurus, you can trust the numbers. I truly think that this is going to be by far one of the most valuable videos that we have ever made, and also one of the most valuable videos that has ever been made in the prop firm space. At Lark Funding, we take transparency very seriously. We want to give back this data and these numbers to you guys so that you can find the best way to use them to your advantage to make more money. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So of course, we need to start off with pass rate. So what percentage of traders actually pass a prop firm challenge? And this is often a secret, mysterious number that sometimes prop firms will post on Twitter, other times they won't, but we're here to actually reveal, at least for us, what the pass rate is. There's often a saying in Forex and the prop firm industry that only 10% of traders make money. So the question is this actually true? So we combined both our one-stage and two-stage evaluation programs, all the way from our $5,000 account size to our $1 million account size. So we combined everything together, and drum roll please, the pass rate combining all of these accounts together is 15.9%. That means that out of 100 traders, roughly 16 of those traders will go on to pass the evaluation and receive a funded account. This is higher than we actually expected the overall pass rate to be, and of course it is higher than the 10% pass rate that many traders and people in the industry say is the average. But of course, there is a caveat here. The pass rate does change actually quite dramatically depending on the account size that you're actually trading. You see, when we combine both our one-stage and two-stage programs on our $10,000 account, the pass rate is actually higher at 19%. But then if we take the pass rate for our $250,000 challenge, it's actually only 5%, which to me was super surprising because typically we see traders with more experience take the larger challenge sizes. But this number, this 5% pass rate, goes to show just how important trading psychology is. It goes to show that not enough traders are thinking of trading in terms of percentages. They're focused too much on the dollars, and I really think that that is why more traders are failing those larger account sizes. This obviously isn't an easy thing to fix. If you're used to trading a $1,000 account and all of a sudden you're trading a $500,000 account, you're just automatically thinking about how much money you can make, what you're able to buy with it. I was in the exact same place when I first became a funded trader. You get that first payout and you're already shopping for cars and watches and all that good stuff. So it really goes to show that trading psychology is so important. And it's unfortunate that psychology videos on YouTube don't do nearly as well as other things. Trading psychology can be kind of boring, but I hope that these numbers actually reflect and show you guys just how important it is to really focus on your mindset and focus on the percentages and not the dollars. All right, now let's look at the payout rate. Now that we know that roughly 15% of traders will pass a challenge and receive a funded account, what percentage of traders are actually going on to receive a payout, to actually make money? As you'll come to see with these numbers, traders, it turns out that earning and receiving a funded account, passing a challenge, and trading a funded account are two very different skill sets. Unfortunately, we often see traders approach their funded account the exact same way that they approach their challenge account, aka risking the exact same amount, and that doesn't typically go very well for the trader. It happens to the best of us. It happened to me when I first received my funded account. When you get that funded account, you get emotional. You start getting ahead of yourselves. You start thinking about all of the money that you can make, and things quickly spiral out of control. We've all been there. Now, of course, it's easy for me to say this, but let's look at the numbers because once again, they simply don't lie. Okay, so we have 100 traders sign up with us. As we have established, roughly 16 of those traders will go on to receive a funded account. Now, out of those 16 traders, roughly 50% of them will go on to actually receive a payout. So out of 100 traders that sign up with us, roughly 8 of those traders will be receiving that payout certificate. Money will be landing directly into their bank account. We looked into the 50% of traders that do not receive a payout, the 50% of traders that breach their funded account. We looked into it, and as you will see later on in this video, when we break down those accounts, it simply comes down to risk management. They are treating their funded account, not always, but often, simply like winning the lottery. They're risking too much. They're hoping to receive that massive payout. Now, there is a bit of a strategy that comes to this, or a unique approach that you can take. This won't apply to everyone, but for traders that do have money to burn, we have seen, not just with Lark, but with other traders posting publicly on Twitter, some of the largest payouts come from traders that have taken the most amount of challenges. We're talking 40, 50 challenges, very high risk traders, and they're just hoping to have the law of averages work in their favor. So they'll take 40 challenges, they'll fail 35 of them. Those 5 funded accounts that they receive, they'll go like full margin on a bunch. They'll fail most of those accounts, but then they will receive that one massive payout that pays for everything. It's not an approach that we recommend, that I personally recommend, but we do see this sometimes in terms of the accounts that are receiving the largest possible payouts. The overall lesson here is that 95% of content online in the prop firm industry and trading is how to pass a funded challenge, a funding challenge. And that makes sense. It's a very difficult thing to do, but there is not enough content. There's not enough discussion on how to actually trade a funded account once you receive it, and that's shown in 50% of traders that receive the account never receiving a payout and breaching it. Okay, so let's now talk about money. We all get into this game to make money. So of the 8 traders that actually receive a payout, how much money are they actually receiving? This is the good stuff. Let's find out. Because there's such a dramatic and large difference between our account sizes, starting at $5,000 all the way up to $1 million, there is a bit of a large difference in terms of the payouts that we're sending out. However, I do still think that the average, which we're about to show you, is still a fair barometer for how much money traders are making and how much you, the viewer, can make yourself from these accounts. So it turns out that after combining all of our payouts, regardless of account size, the average payout that traders are receiving from Lark Funding is $2,800. Now, I would love for you guys to drop a comment below. Is this more or less than you expected? Because I think $2,800 is actually very good. For 90% of people, $2,800 is a life-changing amount of money. That $2,800 can go towards paying bills, to treating yourself that you've wanted to do for a long time, for just having fun, for reinvesting and making more money down the road. That's what I would recommend you do. So I really hope that this $2,800 figure is used as motivation, because I remember when I received my first funded account payout of $6,500, and to me, it was totally life-changing. And these numbers show that you can do it. Of course, this $2,800 is the average, which means that traders are receiving smaller payouts, which still can be life-changing for many, but there's also traders receiving way larger payouts. Just the other day, we processed a payout of $6,900. Way back when we first launched, one of our first payouts was $18,000. So there is a large difference, but $2,800 is the average. Okay, now that we know that traders are making money, how much money they are making, let's get down into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of how traders are earning these funded accounts and how they're trading their funded accounts. So let's look at the average trade duration. There's a ton of talk online about scalping, swing trading, intraday trading, but on average, traders that are actually succeeding, how long are they holding their trades for? We do see a large variance in terms of how long traders are holding their trades for. It's not that often, to be honest, that we see swing traders, and we're talking serious swing traders that are holding trades for 6, 8, 10 days. We don't see that very often, but when we do, they do tend to make a lot of money, but those are complete outliers. So after looking at every single trader in 2023 that has passed a Lark funding evaluation, the average trade duration is under 5 hours. That's right. So traders really aren't holding trades for that long. It's intraday trading. They're getting in, they're getting out. The market is so unpredictable. And so they just lock in their profits. And it looks like that is the most effective way of trading. Again, your guru can say otherwise, but the numbers don't lie. Under 5 hours is the average trade duration that we are seeing. Okay, so now that we know how long traders are holding their trades for, what pairs are they actually trading? We'll see this later on when we break down some of the accounts that we're going to look at. But again, combining every single account that has every single challenge that has passed the Lark funding evaluation, it looks like traders are becoming experts in just a small number of pairs. And this makes complete sense. When I first started trading, I was trying to watch every single pair, but it's just impossible. We've all been there. And so I'm seeing myself on Twitter, some really great traders that are just experts in gold or GJ or Euro USD. They're literally creating an entire career for themselves by trading these singular pairs. But single pairs is, of course, an exception. When we look at the numbers, here it is. The average number of pairs traded from traders that pass our challenge is under 5. Traders are looking at 5 or less pairs past the challenge. It's very rare when we see a trader pass, we look at what they've traded. It's very rare that we'll have a very long list of traders that are just trading a ton of pairs. So the average is under 5. All right, so here's another good one for you. How long on average does it take? How many days on average does it take for a trader to pass a challenge? Everybody wants to receive a payout as fast as possible. So how is that working? How is that happening? So again, combining everything, all of our data, every trader that has ever passed in 2023 a Lark funding challenge. Do you have any guesses? Is it a week? Is it a few days? There's no time limit, so you can take as much time as you want. Well, the numbers don't lie. 18.22 days on average it takes to pass a challenge. Just over 18, under 3 weeks, but above 2. To me, I think this is a perfect sweet spot. Our phase 1 target on our two-stage program is 8% and then 5% on stage 2. So we're looking at 13%, just over 2 weeks, under 3 weeks. I think that's reasonable. Obviously you need to be risking a fair amount, 1% per trade, you can absolutely do it. So 18 days to receive that funded account. That means that, within a month of signing up, you can literally be receiving that payout, which for many is life-changing. So 18 days, I was a little bit surprised. I thought maybe it would be a little bit longer, but we clearly have some good traders, 18 days. Okay, so it takes 18 days to pass, but how many trades do you actually have to take? Now, if you dive deeper into this number, I think you could actually learn a lot in terms of how much traders are risking to pass. It takes 18 days to pass, and on average, it takes 42.55 trades to pass. 42.55. This is a good number of trades. We have to personally look into it a little bit more to provide more context. Hopefully later on when we break down those funded accounts, you guys will be able to get a little bit more insight. Let us know if that's more or less than you thought. 42, it's a lot of trades. We don't see that many traders that are just taking like 5 really amazing trades and just passing with that. So I think the lesson here is stop focusing on the next trade to focus on the next 100 trades. Okay, lastly, let's look at the average win rate. This was one of the most interesting numbers for me when I was breaking down all of this. As a trader, especially when we're online, we're looking at other traders, it's human nature to want to always win, to think that, oh, if we take a loss, we are doing something wrong, that we need to have an average risk to reward of 3 and a win rate of 80%. But this number was also the most motivating for me, and I hope it is for you guys, because it goes to show that you don't need to be an expert. Losses are a part of the game, and you can't let it get to you, because you can have what many of you are going to think is not a very large win rate and still make a ton of money. You don't have to be winning 8 out of 10 trades. So by combining every single trader that has ever passed a Lark funding challenge, we looked at every trade that they took, and it turns out the average win rate is 57%, 57.31 to be exact. I was completely shocked. This means that literally just over 50% of trades are wins. So one, it goes to show that risk to reward is so important. Two, it goes to show, like I said, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a savant to make money from trading. Trading, you can buy, you can sell, you can press a random button and you have a 50-50 chance. And so all the work that traders are putting in is literally, based on the numbers, just to earn that 7% edge, to win 57% of trades. To me, this was just mind-blowing. It was super motivating, and I think it was quite surprising overall. As promised, we are now going to reveal and break down the account of 3 traders that not only passed our valuation, but went on to receive a payout. I am a very firm believer that it is great to learn from people that are where you want to be. So when it comes to trading, let's learn from some of the best traders that we have had over the last 3 months at Lark Funding. Okay, so this is the very first account that we're going to look at. This is a one-stage $50,000 evaluation. And this trader passed it right here, and we're going to be able to look at all of their stats. So if we look at the equity curve, first off the bat, it is quite steady. No major dips except here, where the trader went from 52,500 back down to 49,000. So that was a decent swing of roughly $3,000, but then everything was super steady after that. If we look at their profit, so you need to make 10% on our one-stage evaluation, $5,000 on 50K account, and they did that right here. But I want to break down a few more of their stats to see what we can actually learn from them. The average loss was $165, and the average win right here is $211. This leads to a risk to reward ratio of 1.28. If there is one stat that I would say, after looking at hundreds of traders at Lark Funding, that is super important, it's the risk to reward ratio. It is even more important than your win rate. You need to have that positive risk to reward ratio. And out of everyone that we're going to look at today, I think that this might be one of the most motivating accounts that we will look at, because you can see here their win rate was not very high, 54%. In trading, you have a 50-50 chance. You can hit buy, you can hit sell, and it's a 50-50 chance. So out of everything that this trader has learned, they only earned learned a 4% edge, but it all comes down to the risk to reward of 1.28, which is what allowed this trader to be profitable. They traded a total of 120 lots, nothing too crazy there. And if we look at their actual trades, they did take a ton of trades. There's 13 pages of trades, and I believe there's 10 on each. So that is roughly 130 trades. So a ton of trades. If we look at them, looks like they're quite small trades. See, nothing major. This is at $910, but everything's pretty small. And if we look at how long they're holding them, this was, for a few seconds. This was a few hours, an hour and a half. And that's what we really see with a lot of our most successful traders, is they are not holding trades for that long. They're getting into the market. They understand that the market is erratic. They don't want to stay in for too long, and then they are getting out. So that is how this trader passed their valuation. Let's look at their funded account. So here you can see an even better equity curve when it comes to their funded account. It was very steady. They made a high here of 5,700, and then they dropped down to 5,500. So just a few $100s. This big dip here is actually from a payout. We sent this trader a very nice payout of, I'm not sure if it will show it here. Yes, user requested withdrawal of $7,224.03, and it was approved. So a phenomenal payout, the largest payout we have processed this year, 2023, on a $50,000 account. This represents a return of over 10%. It is just absolutely phenomenal trading. So how do the stats compare to their evaluation account? Slightly higher risk to reward ratio of 1.69. This is what we like to see and is indicative of why they made more money. However, what's interesting is the win rate went down to 43%. So again, it shows how important, how crucial it is to have a solid risk to reward, because otherwise you won't be profitable. This trader loses more than 50% of the trades that they enter, but they still received a payout of $7,000, which is just fantastic. Lots of 162, a little bit more than before. Let's look at their trade history. In order to receive that payout, they took a ton of trades. Wow, there's 13 pages here. That is just crazy. And again, they're not holding them for that long. 29 minutes, 2 minutes. It's you know, 10 minutes. It's a mix between scalping and intraday trading, and this is really what we're seeing. You know, they're getting these wins. $284 might not seem like a lot of money, but those add up. If you're getting 3 of those a day, it adds up very, very quickly. So this was phenomenal trading on a $50,000 account. It goes to show that anybody can do it. A nice $7,000 payout for this trader. Next up, we're going to look at a $25,000 valuation that was on our 2-stage program. This is phase 2. So on the 25K account, the trader only had to make $1,250, and you can see a phenomenal equity curve here. Very steady, very few trades. If we look specifically, this trader passed in a total of just 2 trades, trading only Euro USD, and they held it for, this was the 29th into the 30th, so they held this for roughly a day. But the first trade they only held for 2 hours, trading only 1 pair. Let's see if they did the exact same on their stage 1, where the profit target is 8%, maximum drawdown of 10%. Again, a really, really nice equity curve here, a little bit of up and down here, but then boom, just absolutely tons of room to the upside. This trader obviously knows what they're doing. Let's see how their stats compare to the previous trader we looked at. Win rate is higher. The previous trader was 54%. They're at 61%, and the average risk to reward is much higher at 2.26. So over a long period of time, this trader will make a ton of money. I actually remember putting up a tweet on the Lark Funding Twitter account. It was for this trader specifically. If you were to extrapolate the results over an entire year on just a $25,000 account, their expected annual return was $47,000. So again, this should be massive motivation. You don't need to save up and buy a massive challenge account to make a ton of money. Even on a $25,000 account, without any promos, it's $225. You can make a ton of money. Only 11.9 lots, so way fewer lots than the previous trader that we looked at. And we can see here again, only Euro USD. So really fantastic trading, keeping the losses small and having some nice wins across the board. 289, 1282 started off strong. Let's take a look at their funded account. Let's see what they did to receive a payout. So here we can see a lovely equity curve right here. This drop here is the payout that they received. So really no significant dips by any means. The trader requested a withdrawal of $2,020 and it was approved. So a nice $2,000 payout here. If we look at their stats, the win rate was smaller here. So I wonder if that's maybe, you know, a psychological difference or maybe just not a large enough sample size. 50% win rate, but again, that risk to reward ratio is still very, very nice at 2.61. And if we look at their trades, amazing. They're still only trading Euro USD and fewer trades, or roughly the same, 2 pages worth of trades. And they're holding them for, this one's the 7 into the 5th. This one they held for longer. Definitely, I think I'm seeing a little bit more swing trading here. Something to note for those of you that are incredibly serious about trading and really want to take it to the next level. If you go into our competition account, because you guys don't have access to these stats, but you do have access to traders that are winning our monthly competitions. You can go in, you can get this data, you can take it to TradingView and you can see exactly what trades they're taking and try and figure out and reverse engineer the trades that they're taking. It's a ton of work, but I did it when I first started trading. Any data that I could find, it's a different form of backtesting, but I think it is a way more useful form of backtesting. So most of you watching aren't going to do it, but for those of you that are very serious, it's something that you absolutely want to consider. So a very nice $2,000 payout from this trader. Let's take a look at one more trader to see what they did to pass the evaluation and what kind of payout they received as well. Next up, we have another $25,000 valuation. I thought that this trader was a fantastic example to show you guys, again, what is possible on a $25,000 valuation. But I think this trader is also a fantastic example to show you guys the power of the Lark Profit Protector, which allows you to receive a payout even if you breach the daily drawdown limit. It's a fantastic feature, and we're going to see exactly why. So this is phase 1, 8% target, 10% max drawdown on our 2-phase. Fantastic equity curve. Before looking, I'm gonna guess that this was just a few trades. Could be a ton of trades, but all within 1 day. The trader passed within 1 day. So we're gonna go down here. Oh my goodness. A win rate of 83% and an average risk reward of 6.23. That is Goldman Sachs level trading. Phenomenal. I'm curious to see how many trades they took. Is this over just 1 day? If it's 1 day and just a couple of trades, not a large enough sample size to suggest that they can maintain this, but if it's over a ton of trades, that will be incredible. Okay, this is nuts. 5 pages worth of trades, and okay, 5 pages worth of trades, but they're taking really small. This is funny. I see what they did here. Okay, the trader took 2 trades that did very well, $850 and then $442, both on gold. One was a buy, one was a sell. At different times, they held it for 2 hours-ish, and then all of the rest of the trades were just small. We're talking $2, $5, $8. There was this $291 here. That is wild. So I think maybe I'd have to look into it more, but it's possible that they're getting in, they're hoping the market quickly moves their way, they'll hold on to it, but otherwise they'll close it. So very interesting. Let's see here quickly on the 2-phase, on the 2nd phase here. Equity graph, very similar. Risk reward much smaller, 1.67, win rate of 66. So we can't just say that, their win rate is always 80%, risk reward of 5. You do need that large sample size, but here they took much fewer trades, $897, $300, $200, and they also passed, I believe, in 1 day. I remember setting up this account and seeing that they passed in 1 day. I was like, were they using high frequency trading? What was going on here? But no, it was just great trading. So now for the good stuff, let's look at their funded account. Let's see what happened. How much did they make? Here we have a much more interesting equity curve of what this trader did. So this is starting on, do we have the date here? So this is the 19th to the 31st. Okay, so they had this for a little bit longer, but you can see here, the equity went all the way up to $29,000, which is a huge return, and then breached. This trader did breach the account, but they received a nice payout, which again is the beauty of the Lark Profit Protector. So user withdrawal of $3,163. So that is how much that the trader received. Let's look at the highest point that they made. So they at one point could have requested a withdrawal of roughly $5,000. Okay, they were just below the $30,000 mark, and they ended up receiving $3,000. So they were roughly $2,000 away from receiving the highest possible payout that they could have received, which again, it's not the end of the world by any means, but this is what we want to take a look at here. On the 20th, the trader breached their daily loss limit, and I spoke extensively with this trader. We actually sent this trader a payout of $500 28 days before their withdrawal date to help them pay with their university fees that were due. We were happy to do it, but again, yes, it's of course a plug, but every company says they have the best trader support, but we actually back it up. What other company is going to send a payout of $500 28 days early to help with university fees? I'm confident that I can say that we are one of, if not the only firm that would actually do that. Of course, we can't make exceptions all the time, but if we see the traders doing well, we are in the business of helping out traders. So we're happy to do that. Unfortunately, the trader said that, they were going through a lot mentally. It was a stressful time. So they did breach the daily loss limit, but 11 days later, they requested a withdrawal of the remaining profits in their account of $3,000, and it was approved. So it was fantastic trading by this trader. We like to see them, tighten up their stop losses, tighten up their risk management a little bit, but overall, very great potential. We see here, win rate much lower than phase 1 at 45%, but still keeping with that great average risk to reward ratio of 2.72. In terms of the number of trades, we have 3 pages here, so roughly, 25, 30 trades. So I hope that you guys learned a ton from this video. This is the way that we improve. We learn from traders that are better than us, and I hope that this breakdown showed you some of the unique features of Lark funding. We are here and we are in the business to help profitable traders that are hardworking and risk managed. We are not in the business of hurting traders. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think, what you guys would like to see next. And in the meantime, check out this video here that's going to break down the reality of trading funded Forex accounts. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.